with Mia. We're about to get into season 16, episode 15 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And come on over here and come kick it with your girl. This is the Rebirth episode. And so we're seeing the ladies the night before, like they look like they had a good time. And they're saying everyone was getting along. They was twerking. They was turning up. So after, all the ladies was there for Shamia, they kept the party going and just kind of took shots, drunk, and just had, good fun times that you have out with your girls. And when no arguing, no friction or nothing, they just had a good time. So then we see Drew and Angela. Angela is bringing Drew breakfast because, baby, this it's a night after. And y'all know how it be after y'all done had a night of fun and drinking. And you just kind of sit back with your girl and kind of talk about what happened, the stuff that transpired the night before. So Drew and Angela both agreed that that they had a good time. They were surprised. Angela was like, I was, didn't think that we could get here as a group with all the friction and stuff between everybody, but last night was actually a good night. The same for Drew. She said, this actually felt like a vacation and we actually had a good time. And so Angela was like, I was good. They started talking about Britt, and Angela was like, I felt like Britt was pouring her heart out to Shamia, and it was a good moment. Then I looked at your face, Drew, and they panned back to Drew, and Drew is looking like, I feel like Drew is me. I'm the person that I always try to fix my face because my face gonna say it before my mouth. Especially when it's some BS. You like, okay, girl. Okay, so Drew is like, everybody keeps saying I'm the actress, but did y'all see Britt? And like I said last week, child, we know Britt had to make a moment and she had to make it about herself. And so Angela was like, she basically, was in the moment till she looked at Drew. And Drew was like, I know you fucking lying. Basically, that's how her face was looking. And so then they start basically clocking clocking Kelli and Britt's tea. Because, Angela's like, I thought Britt and Kelli were cool. Kelli jumped down my throat about Britt. So for her not to say anything last night in her defense when her and Shamia was going back and forth, kind of raised the alarm, like what the hell is really going on. And y'all, I just think Kelli was just, I feel like Kelli and Britt was coming into this situation new together. They didn't know anybody. They didn't know the ladies like that for real. And so they latched on to each other. I don't think that they was really best friends. Now, I do think that they were really trying to grow a friendship. We did see Kelli doing a lot for Britt, but we didn't see Britt do a lot for Kelli. Now, it could be editing. It could be the filming. I don't know. Or it could be, Kelli was just doing it in good faith. Like, that's just her. But I do think, they were trying to build a friendship. And Kelli probably seen like, Britt ain't it. And it's time for me to move around. So basically, they're like, they want to know what's going on between Kelli and Britt. Because it's not like Kelli not to say nothing. And especially didn't say nothing in defense to for her bestie. So we see Shamia on the phone with her mother, and she's, checking on baby Shiloh, her daughter, and her mother is basically telling her what happened with the nurse. And like I said before, y'all, I do feel like I can't say whether the nurse was did this purposely, but I will say that she probably done it to try to cool her down. But with Shiloh's underlying issues, it wasn't a good idea. And especially because the mother said that she had the room freezing and it took her an hour to get Shiloh back to normal temperature, but the nurse was bundled up. And I just do have a question, like, if y'all are in the house, maybe they wasn't there at the time. Like, we gonna give them that benefit. Because if I'm in the house with my baby and I see that the thermostat is a certain, I'm gonna turn it down. I mean, not turn it down, I'm gonna turn it up. and make sure that everything is okay for my baby. So, but I get where they're coming from. Do your job as the nurse. She needs to do her job. But like I said before, she probably was doing it to try to, how they say if a baby is sick, well, if you're sick, period, you want to cool off, and maybe that calms the fever down. So I think like I said this in the last video, that may be the nurse reasoning for doing what she did. But of course they didn't like that, which I understand. If the baby has other stuff that's going on with her, it may not be as easy for it when you're dealing with a child that doesn't have those underlying issues. So her mother lets Shamia know that she hasn't ran a fever and she's doing better. So Shamia is just like, if she's just gonna try to enjoy the rest of the stay. I know a lot of y'all are giving Shamia backlash because y'all like, why she just didn't get on a plane and go home. And I can see both sides. Like, I get it, but at the same time, she is working. It's not like this is just a leisure trip. Don't get me wrong, no. You are working, but that's a family emergency as well. So I just kind of see it both ways. Like, it's not like Shamia is a single mother and she doesn't have the help in the village, whereas as a mother who may not have that, like, she has a husband and he's well equipped to be a parent just like her. So I'm gonna give her some grace in this situation. I know a lot of y'all don't want to give her grace because y'all like, if I got a sick child, then baby, I'm up and I'm at her. And look, as a mother, I agree. I agree with you, but I can see it from another perspective as well. But I am happy that baby Shiloh is okay. So we see Portia and Cynthia meeting up. And they doing the same thing that they doing the same thing that Drew and Angela did. They talking about the night before, and then Phaedra knocks on the door. So Phaedra comes in, y'all. Why is Phaedra talking about she go to sleep to true crime? But I couldn't get this TV to work at all. How y'all get y'all TV to work? But I go to sleep to true crime, baby. I don't know. Some people do. I know a few people like Phaedra that be watching those shows, but I can't watch those shows before I go to sleep, baby. I'm paranoid. I be thinking about, hold on, is somebody, do I hear something? Like, I get too paranoid. I'm not watching it before I go to sleep. I'll watch it, but not before I go to sleep. Phaedra, she's shading Angela per usual. She like, Angela is very stern, but Angela just no nonsense. She gonna say what she got to say, and she was asking her a lot of questions, but that's how we get to know each other here. Phaedra is like, what was going that Britt and Shamia, like, baby, Britt was not letting up, and then she was like, baby, at this point, everybody got a Rolls Royce in Atlanta. She like, Atlanta is scam city. And then she's like, the African starter pack is a Rolls Royce, AP bust down, and some Ferragambos. And Cynthia like, well, what is a bust down? And Portia, the diamonds is dancing. It means your diamonds is dancing. Baby, she like, Atlanta, you so scammy. And if you've been to Atlanta before, then it's not a lot being told. Like, I like Atlanta. I do like Atlanta. And I've even thought about moving to Atlanta. But the thing with Atlanta is everybody want to look like they got it. And Scam City is the truth. Like, they don't care if they don't have it for real, baby. They gonna come out, they gonna step like they really got it. And don't get me wrong, I know this goes on in other cities, but in Atlanta, I noticed, like, when I was there, I noticed that a lot of them baby, they gon' put on till they can't put on no more, baby. Phaedra tell the girls that she got some tea, and they like, what's tea? What's tea, y'all? I enjoyed this scene. Portia and Cynthia like, what's the tea? So she's like, Tinkerbell. Why is she calling Kelli Tinkerbell? She's like, Tinkerbell basically didn't want Britt to use her glam squad. So that's what they are beefing. That's what the fallout is about. And Portia was like, well, I knew it was something because it's like one talk, the other talk, like, and she was like, I was watching. Kelli was really quiet. She was like, if they ain't best friends, I don't know who else then. And she's like, it's giving jealous. And so they're all agreeing, like usually you can't stop Kelli from saying anything. Y'all know Kelli was, what about that baby? What about that baby? Kelli was 10 toes down for Britt. So it's trouble in the water because they fighting over the glam squad that that Kelli let Britt use. Kelli was like, I let you use them, baby. I didn't say continue to use them. I didn't say make them your own. And so here go Phaedra. She's, telling the story about Britt's nipple. And she's like, Britt is an interesting person. She got an inverted nipple. And here go Portia, like your clit to Cynthia. I'm like, yeah, Portia, how you know how her clit look? But, this was fun. I felt like this is just like, light little shade with your home girl, and y'all just be saying anything and talking and having, just saying little stuff. I think some people was taking this scene too literal and was like, I don't know, it's just stuff like, I feel like some of y'all don't have a sense of humor. Like, y'all know when y'all get with y'all home girls and y'all be talking about different stuff, and y'all might say little stuff that's crazy, like to the outside people that's listening. If y'all don't know the context of it or the friendship behind it, y'all might be like, start to know like what they talking about. But I feel like when you got girlfriends, this is what you do. You keep kidding, you hi, y'all just say little stuff. I feel like some of y'all was like really like just throwing it in thick on them about what they was talking about. And it's like, if y'all don't have homegirls that y'all could do this with, then I kind of get it. I understand why you looking at it like, But I thought this was a cute, fun little scene. Britt goes to Kelli's room and she goes to talk to Kelli. And I did think this was bigger Britt to try to talk to Kelli one-on-one to kind of see what the issue was, because we know Kelli is really feeling a certain type of way, but she's not really letting it be known why she's feeling that way. And so, Kelli, I did feel like this was a real moment though. Kelli, was just like, I'm getting ready. I gotta get on a call with my divorce attorney. She has court later on that week. And they have to divide up assets, they have to do custody, and she's kind of stressed about it, which is rightfully so. So I gave Kelli grace in that moment, because y'all know, if you've ever been on a trip or something, and it's like you want to go on your trip and you want to enjoy and you want to escape all the stuff back at home, right? But then when reality, like you sit there and you think about it, or you like her having to have this call, it's like, this is reality. Even though I would like to just enjoy myself, like I still have this huge hump on my back because I gotta get through this. So I understood Kelli in that sense. Britt asked Kelli what the issue was. And Kelli said, that she just felt like Shamia wanted her to give more. You can't be bragging, which I said this in a couple of my other videos, that I think it came off bad because Britt bragged about, getting her whole team BBLs with plastic surgery and doing all the things, but then you give and you kind of shortchanged with the giving. But I'm just like, at the end of the day, a person give what they feel is on their heart to give. They gave something. Whether we may like it or not, she still gave something. It may not be the amount that y'all thought was appropriate, but she gave something. And then Britt did say, if somebody come back and share you, like you're getting to know Shamia, but if Shamia is sharing something with you about me, or if I did something wrong, you should be able to come back and tell me as your friend, which I absolutely agree. Like, if Kelli getting to know Shamia and she's like, oh, well, she only gave this and she only gave that, or $250, that's not enough. Like, I'd be like, after I meet with Shamia, okay, friend, let me tell you, like, she feel a certain type of way because she's like, $250 is not enough. And they like, the best appropriate thing is like $1,000 or something like that. But Kelly's not telling Britt because Kelly low-key feels the same way as Shamia. And we know Shamia and Kelly are becoming very close. So she's really on Shamia's side at this point. And so Britt, like I said, Britt feelings are valid. But she's like, Britt does bring up the thing with her team and with Kelly's glam squad. And Kelly is like, she really don't want to say anything about it. But Britt is like, that's the real reason Kelly has an issue with her. And it's like, she said that Kelly called a meeting. No, Britt called a meeting. They both called meetings. Kelly called a meeting and told her glam team not to work with Britt. Britt called a meeting behind Kelly back, which I can see it from both sides. Like, I can see it from both perspectives. Y'all are on this show together. Kelly may not want this person to style her or to the people to do her makeup and stuff on this show, and want Britt to do, want her team to cater to Britt because she's she's the one who employed them initially when she was coming on the show or whatever, and she wants them to be for her. I completely understand it, but Kelly, you extended them to Britt. And I know you probably done it as a good gesture, just being a friend in the moment because she didn't have anyone. But you gotta know, when you start crossing those lines, it's a possibility that they might want to keep working with them. We do see, like, we heard the previous episodes that Portia and Drew shares the same makeup artist. When Portia was like, Drew took her time on purpose, so they couldn't do my face like they normally do. I had to do something real quick. So we know that some people do share. I feel like Kelly probably feel like Britt is looking better than her. Which I just feel like some stuff may look better on Britt just because Britt is tall. She has that body shape. Like, she has a nice body. Not saying Kelly doesn't, but Kelly is a little shorter. And so I could see why it may be easier to style Britt. But instead of Kelly just telling Britt that to her face, she's saying in the confessional that Britt wants her team, do she want her gynecologist too? And I'm like, Kelly, well, if you got a good gynecologist, girl, you should be able to share that with your good Judy. But I see it from both perspectives, but I feel like, Kelly, you got to say what it is. Like, put it all out there on the table and let it be known that, no, bitch, I don't want you working with my people. We came a long way. Portia and Angela are out there, cool, in which we know they're sharing a room together, so I guess we gotta get along. So they're talking about how they had a good time, and baby, here come the new freaking fake, the fake freaking freak. Kelly and Shamia dressed alike, and Angela's like, twin, what have you been? She like, Britt gonna be mad, and I'm here for it. And I couldn't do nothing but laugh, baby. One thing about Kelly, she gonna find somebody to dress alike with. Baby, we is too grown, but hey, if y'all like it, I love it. Baby, you done came out dressed up. You and Britt was dressed alike. And y'all remember I said this in some past videos. I'm like, maybe they are dressing alike because they have the same stylist. But no, baby, at this point, they are doing this on purpose. And baby, I guess if y'all like it, then who are we to judge? But yeah, they are dressed alike, and child, Drew finally comes out, and she makes a pact with Kelly and Shamia that they don't want to fight no more. And if they do fight, then they can just get right back cool. We'll see how they go, child. Because y'all know Shamia really don't care for Drew for real. They're taking a shot. They decide, to take shots. they're like, well, where is Britt? So somebody said, Kelli, where is Britt? And Kelli is like, I don't know. Remember, Kelli ain't thinking about Britt. Kelli is her and Shamia is click tight now. So Britt is gone with the wind, baby. And so the chairman of tourism, he comes out, and the ladies are thanking him like he's the person who put everything together and helped them with the charity and stuff to give their donation to. So they're thanking him, and as he's talking, here comes Phaedra, and Phaedra sees him, and she's like, I'm not a I want a hug. I'm a hugger. And so they're all like, oh, the men out here are fine. They kind of, they being a little thirsty. But at the end of the day, I feel like they single, the ladies who are single. And if this what they want to do, that's their prerogative. I don't know why y'all be mad about this. Like, whatever. Like, some of y'all, I'm just saying this. Some of y'all, I would hate to be at a party with y'all. Like, y'all are a lot of fun. But, so, Phaedra is flirting, and then Portia's like, oh, he bow-legged you. Phaedra, you might got you one. And so, she like, Portia's like, oh, you might got you a Denzel or something. So yeah, they're talking to him, and he's basically going to explain them about jab jab, because they want to do that, which I thought was very interesting. I love that they took a trip to Grenada. I love that we are able to see their culture on our TV, and like that's now on my list of places that I want to visit. I feel like I love when they highlight us. Because we know everything else is thrown in our face. So I love when we are highlighted. So during slavery times, the slave owners would consider the slaves as jabs, and which is basically like calling them devils. And so as proud Black people, y'all know how we as a culture do. And Portia said this, we turn our stuff, like we turn from being oppressed and from being talked about and stuff, and make it something that we love and that we could appreciate. So it's just kind of like with people using the N word. They turned that word into something different because they try to use it to speak down to us. So that's basically what jab jab is. They put oil on themselves, and they kind of look like devils, and they just, after having a good time, showing the oppressor that, baby, you ain't stopped nothing. And I love that we are seeing this, and we are being able to learn about it. So, baby, as the chairman is walking away, Portia is recording, talking about she got to show her mama what the men over here in Grenada looking like. And so Drew, Shamia, and Kelli are all having a great conversation. And Kelli is like, she got to get on this divorce call. That we learned that her husband is on his 6th attorney, and Drew is like, oh my God, Raph is on his 3rd attorney, and Shamia is me, because I'm like, why do they keep switching attorneys? Shamia is like, why are they switching attorneys like panties, baby? And this is why it's good to get to know people for yourself, because I feel like Drew and Kelli have a lot in common. We're both divorcing crazy men. And even Portia, like, we see what she's going through with Simon, even though she, did win, she's won in court against Simon, but still, like, it's good to talk to other people that's going through it with, that's going through the same thing. And so we come to find out that they have the same anniversary date, child, which is like, what a coincidence. And the fact that they are both going through divorces. And so Drew is asking Kelli, how did she handle it on their anniversaries? And she's like, she cried and she is still fresh, which is understandable. Like, you don't just fall out of love with anybody. And that's kind of what Drew said about Ralph. She's like, I still love Ralph. We have our issues and stuff, but I didn't look to divorce this man. I thought on our 10th anniversary, we would be doing a vow renewal, not going through a divorce. And, that's understandable. Like, that's real. we know Ralph is crazy as hell. From what we've heard about Kelly's dude, we know he's crazy as hell if everything Kelli is saying is true. So it's like, this is why it's good to talk and get to know people, because y'all could be literally standing and helping each other go through what y'all are going through, because y'all are literally going through the same thing. So I thought this scene was pretty good. Like, I like that they kind of, opened up about that, because I feel like that's something that both of them probably really needed, like, to know somebody else is going through the same thing that I'm going through, and they understand, like, they get it. So Angela is asking Britt, is she okay? And Britt is like, she felt good about the situation. Kelli explained to her about how Shamia felt. Angela kept asking, like, are you sure? Is you sure? I thought that was funny. I'm like, look, Angela is trying to get down to the bottom of this, baby. And Britt is like, we're good. We're good. So Shamia and Portia. So Portia, we seen Portia, she had this big hat, like this big straw hat that she was gonna do a photo shoot with. But she let Shamia wear the hat, and she did give Shamia, I think they said, a bathing suit. I know people like, she wore her bathing suit. The bathing suit may be new. Y'all know, when y'all go out of town, at least for me, when I be going on trips and stuff, I be buying new stuff. So y'all chill. The bathing suit is probably new. Anyways, Shamia, Kelli goes. Hold on, I'm sorry. Anyways, Shamia comes out in the hat and the bathing suit, and Portia is, she's like, we're introducing the Kenya's bad bitch. Like, she's calling her out, to come out. And Shamia looks so good. Like, she looked good. Body is T. I don't see why Shamia won't lipo. Like, she around too many girls with surgery, because your body is eating, baby. And so Shamia looks good, and she's, doing the photo shoot. Y'all, Phaedra is taking the pictures, and the way Phaedra is taking the pictures is so funny to me. And I thought this was a good moment. Portia said, she decided to give her hat and, let her do the photo shoot moment, because she's, having a hard time being there. Her baby is sick, and she loves Shamia. And that's why I say, I feel like it's genuine love between Portia and Shamia, but I feel like it's been stuff done on both sides that we may not even be privy to. So that's why I try not to be like, oh, Portia is such a bad friend to Shamia, because if Portia was such a bad friend, would she have done this? And not only that, we've only seen Portia's side of things. We haven't seen Shamia's side of things. So it's easy to say, oh, Portia is such a bad friend, because half of y'all don't like Portia. So it's easy to just blame Portia. Anyways, they're taking the pictures. Phaedra is the photographer. Cynthia is the director. And they're like, she got some good pictures. Kelli leaves to go get on her divorce call, because we know she has a call. On this call, baby, that attorney is like, do you got your fee? Like, you baby, they making sure your retainer is up. It's make sure that's good. They gonna make sure they get paid if they don't do nothing else. I mean, I ain't mad at it, but if I get on a call with you, don't let that be the first thing you say. I know I gotta pay you. I know you're not doing this for free. Kelli is telling Bobby, that's her attorney, that she heard that her ex-husband, well, he's an ex-husband now, he had sold a lot that they had, that he gifted her for them to build a house on, and that he sold it to a friend without her knowledge. But if he gifted, to me, it sounded like it wasn't in Kelli's name. Like, he probably gifted her. They probably didn't get the paperwork handled, or he did some underlying stuff. But Kelli's like, she don't know where their paperwork is. So, she just feel like she just has the weight of the world on her shoulder, which I like. That's a lot. She's like, her ex-husband isn't making anything easy for her. He's making it hard. She's having to fight him through everything. Like, nothing could be amicable and be smooth sailing. It's like an uphill battle. But the good news is, after this final court appearance, then they divorce should be final. So, she's, letting the talking to her lawyer, and basically letting him know. And he's just like, if just maintain your money, like, child, they gonna make sure they get paid. And I'll do the rest. And I mean, at this point, what can you do? The ladies are getting ready for Jab Jab, and maybe Shamia's stuff has finally came on the last day. But she looked good, but baby Shamia couldn't wait to put on that designer. She got on some Chanel boots that got white in them, y'all. Like, girl, I don't care if you do got the coin. Why would you want to mess up your boots? And they telling her, like, no, don't wear that. Like, you're going to mess that up. We know you got the paper, but don't mess your shoes up for this one day. Because they not cheap. And it's, I told y'all, Shamia one of the people that think because it's designer that, baby, she can, it's dressing. That's what she thinks. But they neither here nor there. They all got together. All the ladies look good. Cynthia done made some, she done made some little things to put on her hair like they like condoms. So her hair won't get messed up. Her dude is like, oh, very creative. And so they get there, you know, they're drenching themselves in the oil. And baby, they're having a time, you know. Baby, they are dancing, you know, they don't have a care in the world. They dancing, they drinking, they doing all the things. And they're having a good time, baby. Portia and Phaedra are out there giving it to the men, baby. They are dancing. I thought it was funny when Phaedra was laying down and she was like, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I thought that was funny. I know some of y'all was like, oh, this is too sexual, blah, 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 blah. Like, these ladies are single. The ones that are single, or they're on their way to be single. Why not have a good time? And then some of y'all is like, oh, this probably was another Bolo moment. If Kenyon was here, we'll know. Kenyon was still mad because Bolo didn't pick her. If y'all really want to know what's tea. I know y'all be, oh, Portia this, Portia that. Portia is single. If she's a single woman, then let her do what she do. Like, why do y'all be so mad? But they had a good time. Everybody was dancing. Britt was winding. I think Britt thought she was on somebody's video shoot the way she was on that whining. But yeah, they all just they enjoyed themselves. Everybody really enjoyed themselves. And I think that's what it's all about. You on a trip, you're doing something, you know, that's significant in their culture. Why not enjoy it and have a good time, baby? Like, let your hair down and enjoy it. And that's what they did. And me personally, I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm not mad at that at all. This is the night after Jab Jab, and baby, the ladies was like, they had to scrub all their oil off of them. They showing back where they just left the stuff outside. Somebody, I don't know if they took a shower or they just thought they rinsed it off, but baby, it was still all out in the bed. And yeah, so we learned that Britt has helped Phaedra scrub all the oil off of her. She done seen Phaedra's whole body. And they like, we had a good time. They enjoyed it. Kelli did, you know, let the ladies know, you know, she's a little bit down because she's not ready to go back to Atlanta and have to deal with her reality, which that's real. She goes on to say that the crystal broke and she felt like that's, you know, God, that was God, and you know, that it symbolized that it's the end of something. So she wanted to throw the crystal in the ocean. Portia come, and Portia, I feel like this is the Portia that we like. Portia seems like she really enjoyed herself, and you know, she's just being her fun ditzy self. And I feel like this is the Portia that we want to see. Like, the Portia that's on her YouTube right now, that's the Portia that we like. Not this Portia that came in here beefing with Drew over nothing. So, maybe this was something that was awakening to her that she needed. Because we do got to understand that Portia is going through a divorce too. Even though, like, some of y'all don't want to give her any grace. And y'all feel like she don't deserve any grace. But she was going through it just like Kelli and Drew. And so Portia's like, she's still a little lit, but you know, she enjoyed herself. So all the ladies decided to gather around Kelli and so she could throw her crystal in the ocean. And you know, they made a vow that when they get back to Atlanta, baby, that they are going to be cool and it's not going to be no drama, and that they're going to stay a sisterhood. But we see on the preview 72 hours later, Baby, it looked like it's beef here, beef there, beef everywhere. Kelli and Britt haven't spoken. We see Britt telling Portia about some text messages. Kelli, we learned that Kelli is not divorced and that her ex-husband went to jail. Like, baby, it's gonna be a lot in next week's episode. So we're leaving Grenada on a good note. But we'll find out what the drama is about next week. And that was the end of the trip. And that was the end of the show. I actually really enjoyed this episode. I feel like this was one of the best episodes besides episode 1. I feel like this was one of the best episodes of this season. Some of y'all didn't enjoy it because y'all was like, it's too sexual. The ladies are too old to be twerking and all this blah, 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 blah. Like I said before, some of y'all are a lot of fun at parties. But I feel like this was needed. I feel like it doesn't always have to be drama. I know this is a show, but I thoroughly enjoy watching them enjoy each other. Like, I feel like, yeah, we watch the show for drama and we want the drama. We like the drama. That's why we tune into these reality shows, right? And that's why they have to do all the drama and stuff, because that's what the people like. But I also like what we've seen, on this past episode. I like that they just got along. They enjoyed themselves. They had fun. We're going to see all the drama next week. But it was refreshing to see all the ladies come together as one. Like, I feel like y'all always saying that y'all want to see them come together as one and to actually have fun and, to be a friend group. But when it's shown and it's displayed, y'all mad because y'all didn't have enough drama. So which is it? I feel like it's not a common ground with some of y'all. Some of y'all just never satisfied. I feel like this was a good show. This was a good episode. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's episode. So y'all have a good night. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.